Hi and welcome to my channel. I'd also like to express my condolences to anyone who's here because they have also lost someone to suicide. If you would like to name them and tell me anything about them that you'd like to in the comments, please do. I would like to think that there are a lot of compassionate people out there who would also like to extend their condolences. Losing a child to suicide is something no parent should ever have to endure. The pain is just indescribable. It's like nothing that ever came before. When people talk about the afterlife, what comes straight to my mind is when my daughter died, that was my afterlife. My life came to an end as I knew it when my daughter died. The journey through grief is a path that we could never have imagined we'd be walking. I'm Sinead, and I'm bringing you along with me on my healing journey in the hope it can help others who are maybe struggling with their feelings of grief, particularly after losing a child, and with the complexities of suicide loss. I lost my beautiful daughter Diva on the 10th of May 2020. She was 26 years old. I want to share my story of grief and loss and the steps I've taken. I'm not an expert. I'm not saying everything I've done is correct. I'm not saying I've handled everything in the best way. And it's not an easy story to share, but I hope it brings some comfort to anyone else who is experiencing difficulties after losing a child, particularly to suicide. Diva was everything to me. Like, she was my reason. Honestly, when she came into the room, all eyes were on Diva. She could come in with an energy that was just infectious, and there is no one else that can do that. At times she may have thought, oh, it's all right, my mum's got this person, that person. No one can replace her. Grief can manifest in so many different ways, and what really took me by surprise is the actual physical symptoms I had through grief and still get. But actually those early days, early years, my body did not want to move. My body hurt to move. My chest hurt. Just breathing just took so much energy. Some days it just felt so impossible to get out of bed or get out my chair. I used to have to physically use my arms to lift myself out of the chair. My legs lost their strength and my body didn't want to get up. Other times you might feel like your days got a sense of normality in it, but one song, one word, one face, one smell, you're just pulled back in to that deep sorrow. I've learned it's okay to feel all these feelings. You literally have to feel these feelings to be able to navigate through this journey of grief. But what I found really beneficial is talking to other people who are in a similar position and understand those feelings without me having to explain too much that what I'm actually feeling. In those friendships, I've found a sense of community. It's helped me feel connected. And who else can understand losing your child to suicide as much as someone else who has lost their child to suicide? We'll all have differences, different ways of coping, different life experiences, but that connection, that understanding of losing a child to suicide is so massive. I like to think those connections I've made, our children are also together when we're together, supporting each other, looking at their parents down here, laughing at us, maybe hugging us. Those friendships have become very important. They've taught me there's no right way to grieve and no wrong way. Finding ways to honour my daughter's memory has been really important. Initially, I created some acts of kindness, pay it forward cards, and I would, for example, buy a cake in a cake shop and leave it behind for someone else. So I would just literally pay, leave a card, and then the card requests that the person who receives the cake or whatever act of kindness I've given, and they do an act of kindness for someone else, and it spreads a ripple, because I felt like there's a ripple with suicide, and my daughter had lost a friend to suicide, and then after Diva's death we lost someone else to suicide. So there's a ripple, and I wanted to try and make a difference and prevent that ripple of suicide spreading as much as possible. And if I could spread a ripple of kindness in some way, maybe that would help minimise that ripple. My grief is never going to end for my daughter, but I believe it changes over time, and I can't promise it gets better, but I think some of the sharper edges soften, but at times also the depths can feel deeper. The time that I last saw Diva is further away, and that's hard. Initially I didn't think that I would survive a year. No way did I think I'd still be here 4 years later. That's hard. It's almost like sometimes when you carry something for longer, it becomes heavier. I've just got more tools and more experience in knowing how to carry it, and more acceptance and understanding that actually I am going to carry Diva and the grief with me forever. And I felt, seeing as we didn't have a proper funeral for Diva, as it was during lockdown, I have to find a way to do that in a way that honours Diva but also works for me. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it brings you some comfort and hope in your own journey. And just remember, it is okay to grieve, and it's okay to grieve in your way. And as long as you feel grief, you can grieve. You will grieve. It should have been Diva's 30th birthday last year, and so I haven't said. It was actually Diva's birthday on Suicide Prevention Day. I thought we should do some kind of celebration of her life, something to honour her. And so actually, along with some friends, we created a festival called Every Little Thing Festival, and we brought in speakers, singers, artists, poets, workshops, everything geared towards suicide prevention and suicide loss, mental health, and the support was astounding. It was astounding, and the effect of that event was astounding, and we will be doing that this year as well, the 29th of September 2024. I will post more information about that later as it comes. I'm hoping that is something I can leave behind in Diva's legacy, and trying to create positive change is so important, because when you've lost your child to suicide, you have lost your identity, or a big part of your identity, but also your purpose, your meaning. And by creating something that makes a difference, it gives me some meaning and some reason to continue. I really hope today you find some joy in your day. As much as I hate it when people say to me, you know, Diva would want you to be happy. Yeah, I don't know. Happy, I don't know. I think Diva would understand why there's an element of happiness that has gone. She would understand. But I know she would like me to find some joy in my day, and I hope you find some joy in your day today. Thank you. Oh, please, if you've found this video any help at all, please subscribe to my channel and share with anyone you think may need to hear or feel less alone. Thank you.